Welcome to part 3 of the Marquis fighter build. So we got this wee beastie completely buttoned up now. All the light leaks have been fixed, and all of the seams have been seamed. So yeah, she's ready for her first layer of primer now. Hopefully when we got the first layer of primer down, we will be able to spot anything else that needs to be done. It always amazes me, especially with grey plastic, that you think you got it all, but in actual effect you haven't. So yeah, I'll just give this a quick shot, just a light coating really, mainly over all of the areas where all the seam works happened, just to see if there are any seams that remain that need to be dealt with. But apart from that, she's pretty much well ready for the first coat of primer. I had to put canopy glue down the torpedo tubes. It's the only area where the two bits of plastic on the inside don't meet, and also inside this little like V-shaped thing, there's a gap of about maybe 1-2 mil. And it's difficult to actually get putty down into those gaps. So all I did was basically flooded the area at the base of each of those areas with some canopy glue, and that sealed the gap, which is good. So hopefully we won't have any light leaks from there anymore. I've also put some glue on top of the nav lights as well, so we can paint those, and there's not going to be any problems there. Once we've finished, I'll just be able to pull out the glue from there. So that's about it for the moment, guys. I will come back to you once we've got the first layer of primer on this, just to see if there are any further areas that need correcting. So I shall be back with you in a minute. Okay, so we've now got the kit sorted out. So we've got the first layer of primer put down on it. We then went back around as it did show up a few seams that needed some work. So we've got those taken care of. Then we put a second layer of the primer on, and that came up okay, which is good. So we then sprayed down 2 coats of the primary colour on this, which is the Tamiya Sky Grey XF19. Looking at the reference pictures of this kit, it does need to be the actual main colour, primary colour of the kit needs to be a very light grey. So this is kind of as close really as we're going to get without sort of mixing paints up. So I'm happy with that colour, plus the fact we've then got the, well, kind of Aztec pattern around the front and whatnot. So I'll be using the XF19 Sky Grey, and I shall be putting a few drops of a darker grey in there just to bring it up a tone. Not so much that those panels are going to shout out at you and say, here I am, just enough to subtly change the appearance of the paint for those Aztecian areas. And, well, subtle isn't something I normally do really, to be fair, but there we go. I can do that, honest, and hopefully once we got that done, that'll be okay. And then some of the other secondary colours, we've got some fairly dark greys, we've also got some blues in there, we've got yellows in there, we've got browns in there, and a few other little colours as well. I think there's some bronze in there as well, and some silvers. So hopefully by the time that's done, that should look pretty good. Once I've got all of the secondary colours on, then I will put a couple of layers of gloss clear over the top so we can do the weathering. And then once we've got to that stage, as there's no decals on this, we can then just put a clear flat over the top of that. On some of these vents at the back, especially these ones here, They need to be painted black. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them. Well, I'm going to see what they look like actually in NATO Black XS, which is an XF69 by Tamiya, which isn't actually a black. It's a really, 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 really dark grey. So once I've done that, I'll then use jet exhaust over the top of that just to simulate sort of dirtiness, etc. Now, the only problem I can foresee with that is the fact that the jet exhaust by Alclad is an enamel paint, I think, and I'm not sure whether it's going to play nicely with these paints. So I think what I'm going to need to do is just basically find a scrap bit of plastic, paint it as I would be painting the model with, you know, the with the black and then the clear coat, and then spray it down, see what it looks like with the Alclad, and hopefully if it doesn't react, then that's cool. If it does, then I just need to look at a different way of doing it. I think I've got gunmetal grey, which could act as a jet exhaust. If I mix some black up into it a little bit, that might work. I don't know. I'd have to have a little look really to see. But I don't think it's going to be that difficult to actually get those details right. Good thing about this kit is, the Marquis ships, they're beaten up quite badly as well, as were the Kazon ships. I think they were beaten up quite badly. I think with the Marquis, it was more of a case of, yeah, we need this ship to do a job. We don't really care about the aesthetics of it. More than anything else, it was there to primarily fight the Cardassians and help further their cause. So they didn't really give two monkeys about the appearance of the ship. It was just the serviceability of it. So I'll carry on, get those bits done, and then as soon as we've made some progress, I will come back to you. Okay, so we've now got the secondary colours down on the kit now. So we've got blues, blacks, well, sorry, not blues. We've got greys, bluish greys, and black, and desert yellow, and just normal yellow, and copper. Yeah, she's not looking too bad. There's a little bit of clean-up that needs to be done around some of the colours, but that won't take too long. And that's what the bottom of the ship is looking like as well. So yeah, not looking too bad at the moment, I don't think. The nacelles, if you can call them nacelles, but the warp engines for this, there were some gaps around the edges. So basically all I've done is I've gone in there with canopy glue, and all I've done is I've mixed in some of the Tamiya transparent blue, and then that's what it kind of looks like. It tends to separate a little bit to begin with, but then after a while it does start to come back together again. There is no sort of ratio really that I use for this, because, well, putting the Tamiya paint in there does actually thin this down a bit, which helps it get right to the back, so you've got a nice thick wad of glue in there. It was a technique that I actually used on the Cardassian Glory class cruiser, which was the first ship I built on on this YouTube channel, and I just needed to go back and visit that particular thing on this one to fill in all the gaps. Once that glue dries, the next thing for me to do is spray the blue nacelle parts down with copper, and then the ribs I'm going to need to then paint in matte black, and then in the actual body colour, which is the sky grey. The reason I'm doing that is because some of the shots that I can see of the studio model, what little shots that I've got of the studio model, you can actually see that those the ribs within the nacelles are actually the body colour. So I just get those painted the body colour, and then hopefully from there everything else will be fine. Once that's been done, it'll just be a gloss clear coat over the whole ship, then onto the weathering, and then once the weathering's been done, it will then just be a case of putting a flat coat over it, and then this ship will be done basically. There's not really a lot left to do to it. It just took a while just to get all of the secondary colours painted on this wee beastie. But yeah, that's going to be about it for the moment. As soon as I've got the work done to as soon as the glue's dried properly on the nacelles, it might take a day or so because it is quite thick in areas. But once that's dried, I'm just going to get the nacelles done, and as soon as they're all done, I will come back to you. Well, we got the nacelles finished now, and they're looking quite good. So basically what we've done to achieve the look on these is we've basically sprayed them down in copper to get that look that we have on the nacelles for the Federation ships. We've then put 2 coats of the flat black down, and then 2 coats of the primary colour down on the ribs and the outside areas of the nacelle areas to make it look as it should do. And it's not looking too bad actually, to be fair. Quite happy with the results on that. It does actually affect the lighting a little bit, obviously, because the whole of the nacelle doesn't now light up. It's just like the inside parts. What it's going to be like with the wings put back on it, who knows? But yeah, talking about the wings, I don't think we've seen those just yet, have we? Well, I have, but I don't think you have. But yeah, that's what they're looking like, and that's the top side, and then that's the underside, and then it's pretty much well the same on that one as well. And there's I've noticed I need to do a little bit of work on that as well. I'll get it. Yeah, I think there's a couple of little bits on there that I do need to do, so I think I might get on and get those finished first before I do anything else. But the next step on this basically is just going to be to put a couple of gloss coats on it, wait for it to dry for 24 hours, then I can do the weathering on it. And once the weathering's been done, it's just then a case of a couple of matte coats over the top of that, and then the ship will be done. It's not really going to take too much to do this, really, to be fair. I think the 4th update will actually be about it, really, for this kit. Reason being, as I say, there's just not really a lot of this kit to do, really, to be fair. But there you go. So yeah, I'm just going to get those couple of bits tidied up that I noticed before we put a gloss layer on this. I'm not sure how long this update is going to be quite honest, but I'm going to quit it here because I know that if I carry on, this update is going to be huge, and then when I do finally get around to doing a part 4, it won't be that long at all. So I'd rather kind of split the 2 up, really. So there you go. So yeah, I'm going to carry on, get the little bit tidied up done that needs to be done. And I will come back to you in part 4, where hopefully we can see what the weathering looks like. So until then, thanks for watching, and as always, please do take care.